What if a government could actually change the way history is told? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a sudden, massive shift in America's public history and the intense legal showdown that followed right on its heels.
Imagine you're visiting a national park. What if the meticulously curated signs, exhibits, and historical markers that millions of us see every year just suddenly vanished? We kind of expect those heavy stone and metal markers to be permanent fixtures of truth, right? But recently, a highly controversial directive triggered what's basically become one of the biggest conflicts over public history in modern America. To really grasp the gravity of this, we've got to look at the sheer scale of the national park system. We're talking about over 400 sites, pulling in a staggering 429 million visitors every single year. I mean, that is massive. These aren't just patches of land with some trees. They literally serve as the nation's largest outdoor history classroom. Millions of families, school groups, and tourists rely on these parks to learn the documented history of the United States. So think about it. When stories change here, the way the entire public understands the past changes right along with it. Now, you might not know this, but the system behind these signs is incredibly strict. For decades, the National Park Service has used these standardized Uniguide federal guidelines. Everything, and I mean everything, from the exact retro-reflective brown color to the specific Rawlinson and Frutiger fonts is mandated. Why go to all that trouble? To create a unified, trusted system that gives visitors the unvarnished facts without any confusion. These signs are designed to speak with absolute authority. But critics started warning that something much bigger was happening behind the scenes, something threatening that entire unified system. All right, let's get into Section 1, the 2025 Executive Order. In March 2025, President Donald Trump issued Executive Order 142053. Its official title, Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History. The administration's stated argument here was that certain exhibits were presenting America unfairly. Under this new directive, the explicit goal was to remove information from parks that inappropriately disparages Americans' past or living. The administration argued this effort was absolutely necessary to promote American dignity and to basically remove what they deemed a negative framing of the nation's past. So, what did this actually mean on the ground? Well, as detailed in court filings and reports, the mandate targeted very specific types of factual, historical, and scientific information. We're talking about exhibits honoring indigenous history, displays detailing the atrocities of slavery, and scientific plaques explaining the effects of climate change. All of these were swept up in this removal directive. The administration deemed these elements to be part of an improper partisan agenda that they felt needed to be corrected. Which brings us to Section 2, Signs Begin Disappearing. In May 2025, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum issued a corresponding order to kick off the implementation of the executive order. Park Service workers were now required to physically take down or alter exhibits containing what was classified as improper partisan ideology. Remember, these are heavy, permanent structures cast in concrete and high-density urethane, and they were being systematically dismantled. As reported in court filings, slavery exhibits were pulled from Independence National Historical Park. Climate change data vanished from various sites, and Native American historical displays were altered across multiple jurisdictions. For a lot of visitors, these weren't political displays at all. They were just part of the documented history of the places they were standing in. As you might expect, a rapid grassroots response ignited almost immediately. A coalition of librarians, public historians, and data experts quickly banded together to form the Save Our Signs Community Archive. Realizing this history was vanishing right before their eyes, they urged the public to get out to the parks, snap photos of the signage, and upload them to a database. They were racing to preserve the text before they were gone forever. But that raises a big question. Who actually gets to decide if these changes crossed a legal line? Let's dive into Section 3, the legal pushback. So we've got two very distinct legal viewpoints at the heart of this showdown. On one side, the Trump administration's directive rested on their authority to govern park management and correct what they viewed as improper partisan ideology. But on the flip side, a massive lawsuit pushed back hard, claiming this wasn't park management at all, it was unlawful censorship. The plaintiffs argued that accurate historical and scientific information was being subjected to an arbitrary erasure of undeniable truth. This lawsuit was officially filed in February 2026 by the National Parks Conservation Association, alongside the Association of National Park Rangers and several other historical organizations.
Their core arguments were super specific. They alleged that the executive order violated several federal statutes that govern the National Park Service. Crucially, they claimed the administration's actions were arbitrary and capricious under the Administrative Procedure Act. In plain English, that means they're saying the government failed to provide a sound legal or factual basis for suddenly tearing down established historical facts. The battle lines were drawn, leaving the whole thing in the hands of a federal judge. Moving on to Section 4, the judge's decision. After reviewing absolute mountains of evidence, U.S. District Judge Angel Kelly stepped in. And she didn't just issue a quick ruling. She dropped a massive 63-page preliminary injunction. She went through the government's actions, the plaintiff's claims, and really drilled down into the fundamental educational purpose of our national parks. Then came the words that made headlines all across America. Judge Kelly wrote, and I quote, "The beauty of history is the unvarnished storytelling of a time gone by and the delivery of undeniable truths. The government's stewardship of these park sites thus carries a responsibility to present history in full rather than in favored fragments." That is a really powerful reminder of the fundamental duty the government owes to the public. Continuing her sharp criticism, the judge wrote, "Unfortunately, the government has disregarded these principles. Under the guise of promoting American dignity, this administration seeks to share a limited history by ordering the removal of all signs, displays, and interpretive exhibits at national parks that do not align with its preferred narrative, thereby telling half-truths." Okay, so what does this mean practically speaking? The court laid out concrete, urgent steps. Number 1, the Trump administration must restore all the removed information to its original condition within exactly 3 weeks. Number 2, the administration is required to deliver official progress reports to the court to prove they're complying. And number 3, an immediate, complete halt on any and all additional changes to park exhibits. But you know what? This case isn't really just about signs. It's about a ticking clock. Which brings us to Section 5, the 250th anniversary deadline. This sequence of events here perfectly aligns with a monumental date. Look at the timeline. Implementation of the removals began in May 2025. The lawsuit was filed in February 2026, the injunction dropped in June 2026, and the judge set the final restoration deadline for July 4th, 2026, literally the exact date of the United States' 250th anniversary. Judge Kelly actually noted that since the government tried to strip the parks of these truths in anticipation of this anniversary, it was equally important that the shared history be fully restored in time to properly honor the nation. However, don't think the battle is entirely over. While the signs absolutely must be restored by that July 4th deadline, the Trump administration still retains the legal option to appeal the judge's order. So future court proceedings could very well shape the long-term reality of what stays up and what comes down in our national parks. And that leaves us with a really profound question as we wrap up this explainer. Every single year, millions of visitors learn about history through our national parks. When those stories change, the way people understand the past changes right along with it. So who ultimately holds the power to shape our shared national memory? Is it the administration in power, the courts, or the historians documenting the truth? Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, keep questioning the history around you.